My next guest's job is to turn that rallying cry into votes that will keep Democrats in control of the House of Representatives after November's midterm elections. He is Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney of New York, the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Congressman Maloney, welcome back to the Sunday Show.
Great to be with you. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. So, that Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, does that help a little bit or a lot Democrats going into November?
Look, what it does is it clarifies the choice. Let's be really clear. This MAGA Republican movement wants to ban abortion in all 50 states. And if they win the Congress, they can do it. Because what the court decision says is there is no longer any constitutional prohibition on that. They can pass one law through the Congress and ban abortion in all 50 states. Democrats, we're going to preserve Roe v. Wade. That's the choice.
Democrats are facing incredible headwinds, high inflation, high gas prices, a president whose job approval rating is not where it should be if you're a Democrat going into the November elections. So how does this ruling help? Does it help?
Well, look, it's a terrible thing they're doing to our country. So I don't want to in any way suggest that it's good news. But there is going to be a political price to pay for the Republicans, and there should be. But not just on Roe v. Wade, as terrible as that is. Remember, most of them don't want to do anything when kids are being gunned down in their classrooms. Most of them would go backwards under this court ruling and eliminate marriage equality. We're sitting here on Pride Sunday. We think we've made all this progress. That's all at risk, too. And, of course, even our right to have intimate associations, interracial marriage, birth control. I mean, if you take the court's ruling seriously, all of those things are now on the ballot. So Democrats want to build a country where we all count, where we all can go forward in a way that's more prosperous and inclusive. Yeah, we got challenges. We understand the economy and gas prices and inflation are top of mind for people. We have solutions for those things. We have a plan. The other side has a ploy to win power for themselves, and that's the choice.
You know, as I noted at the top of the show, this is the exact 7th anniversary of Obergefell, of the ruling that made marriage equality legal, that made your marriage and my marriage legal in the United States. Are you surprised by how much things have changed, how far we've fallen from that incredible Supreme Court decision to a point now where a Supreme Court justice is saying Obergefell should be reconsidered, Lawrence should be reconsidered. The Texas Republican GOP put in its platform that homosexuality, quote, is an abnormal lifestyle. Are you shocked by how far we've fallen in terms of the fight for equality?
What I've been telling people is that we're the party of John Lewis. And when they gutted the Voting Rights Act, I was with him in the cloakroom off the House floor. And he said to me, little brother, he said, I was standing next to LBJ when he signed the Voting Rights Act. And if you had told me 48 years later I would still be fighting for voting rights, he said I wouldn't have believed it. So he looked at me and he said, it's going to be up to you to keep fighting for these things because, you know, those of us who did it 50 years ago are getting older. It's the same thing with our rights. The fact is that we're on a march across a bridge to the future, and there are people waiting on the other side. They might not have billy clubs and tear gas and barking dogs, but there are opponents of the future who are facing us right now. And so we got to work. We got to vote. This work is an ongoing practice. And so if you care about a country where people count, if you have friends or family who are celebrating Pride this month, today here in New York, but all over the country, if you believe that we can all fit in this modern world and do well and have our rights and our freedoms protected, you got to vote Democratic, and you got to get out and work. You got to participate in these midterms. That's what's got to happen.
Right, and on that point, I wrote down this note: frustrated Democrats. Everywhere you look, there are Democrats who are frustrated that, you know, we voted you in, but nothing was done in criminal justice reform. We voted you in, but voting rights, nothing's been done on that. Now the Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade. Your message to frustrated Democrats about why should they get involved, volunteer, or even show up at the polls in November?
That's right. Well, you know, maybe I'll just keep telling you about John Lewis, because remember, the first time they tried to march over that bridge, they got stopped. And they didn't give up. They didn't get discouraged and say, well, you said we were going to march and we didn't get across, so we're going to stop. They went back and they did it again. And that's what we've got to do. Look, we have in the House of Representatives, I think it's worth noting, we have passed the Women's Health Protection Act, which would put Roe v. Wade into federal law. We've passed the Equality Act, which would finally end employment discrimination in this country. We passed George Floyd Justice in Policing so we can have good, safe streets and accountability in policing. And we've passed Build Back Better for better child care, better support for young families, the kinds of things that would lower prescription drug costs and really help working and middle class families. And we're not there in the Senate. But, man, we need to end the filibuster, if you ask me, because it should not be the case that a tiny anti-democratic minority of 20% of the country with 40 senators can stop all progress. So I think we cannot let these Senate procedures get in the way of having some democracy in this country. But it just means we got to work. It means we got to have 2 more senators. We need to hold the House. And I know Democrats are frustrated, but I hope they'll channel that energy into working for a better future. It's the only way forward.